Winter is more than just holidays and cozy fires. It's a season that quietly tiptoes in, then suddenly makes its presence impossible to ignore. While many of us look forward to the warmth of home and the sparkle of festive lights, winter's true character is far more complex and powerful than it first appears. It's a force that shapes our lives in ways both subtle and dramatic, transforming landscapes and routines, and reminding us of nature's unpredictable strength. For meteorologists, this season is a puzzle of powerful shifting patterns. Each year brings new mysteries to solve, as atmospheric currents and ocean temperatures interact in ways that can surprise even the experts. This year, the signals are loud and clear. December could be the coldest in years for Europe, especially the UK. Early indicators are pointing to a winter that could rival some of the most memorable cold snaps in recent history. We're not just making educated guesses. Global data, from satellite feeds to ground-based sensors, all point to a major cold snap on the horizon. The evidence is mounting and the scientific community is on high alert. Such intense cold impacts every aspect of daily life. Travel grinds to a halt, energy grids are pushed to their limits, and public health systems are tested as the most vulnerable face increased risks. Communities must prepare for challenges that go far beyond icy roads and frosty mornings. The atmospheric and oceanic patterns we're seeing have a proven record of delivering severe winter weather. These are not just random fluctuations, they're part of a larger, interconnected system that can unleash powerful storms and prolonged cold. Already the UK is feeling the first icy preview, with cold air and wintry precipitation arriving earlier than usual. Streets are slick, and the familiar routines of winter are starting sooner than many expected. In this chapter, we'll break down the science behind these forecasts, explore the global drivers that set the stage for extreme cold, and reveal how experts interpret the clues hidden in the data. We'll also look back at past winters with similar setups, learning from history to better understand what might be coming our way this season. Plus, we'll explain the sudden stratospheric warming event, a phenomenon that can flip winter on its head, sending frigid air plunging southward and triggering extreme weather across continents. And we'll show you what the latest models predict, offering a glimpse into the weeks ahead and what you can expect as December unfolds. December 2025 is shaping up to be unforgettable, so bundle up, stay informed, and join us as we dive into the science, the stories, and the surprises of a winter that's already making history. Monthly forecasting isn't about a single storm or a single cold snap. Instead, it's a complex puzzle, where scientists look for subtle clues hidden in the world's climate system. Each piece of data, from temperature readings to wind patterns, helps us build a bigger picture of what's coming. It's about reading the world's climate signals, decoding the language of the atmosphere and oceans to anticipate what lies ahead. These signals are often faint, but when pieced together, they tell a compelling story. We track teleconnections, vast interconnected patterns that can trigger weather shifts continents away. For example, a change in the Pacific can ripple all the way to Europe, influencing our winter. This year, many of these dominoes are tipping toward cold. When one pattern shifts, it can set off a chain reaction, making cold air more likely to spill into Europe. Oceans are our starting point. Sea surface temperatures in the Pacific, Indian, and Atlantic set the stage. Warm or cool patches of water can nudge the atmosphere, changing wind directions and storm tracks. These patterns steer jet streams, the fast-moving rivers of air high above us, deciding if Europe gets mild breezes or frigid blasts from the north. The jet stream's path can mean the difference between a rainy winter and a snowy one. We also keep a close eye on the jet stream and the polar vortex high above the pole. The polar vortex acts like a barrier, holding cold air in the Arctic, unless it weakens. Is the vortex strong and stable, locking in the chill, or is it weak and ready to unleash Arctic air across Europe? A disrupted vortex can mean sudden severe cold snaps. Powerful computer models combine all this data, running millions of calculations to project weeks ahead. These simulations help us test different scenarios and refine our predictions. When models and real-world trends agree, our confidence soars. It's a sign that our understanding of the atmosphere is on track, and that our forecast is reliable. Right now, all signs point in the same direction. The forecast is clear. Europe is in for a chill, and winter is coming with a vengeance. So, get ready to bundle up and watch as the story of this winter unfolds. This winter, the world is witnessing not just a single force at play, but a true symphony. A global orchestra of cold signals, each instrument adding its own unique note to the chill. From the snow-draped forests of North America to the frostbitten steppes of Asia, the planet is tuning up for a season unlike any other. One of the key players is a weak La Niña in the Pacific, which is promoting persistent high-pressure blocks near Greenland. These blocks act like a gate, funneling frigid Arctic air masses deep into Europe, transforming city streets into icy corridors and blanketing the continent in snow. Meanwhile, a deep negative Indian Ocean dipole is amplifying this effect. This rare oceanic pattern is making atmospheric blocking even more likely, intensifying the cold and increasing the odds of prolonged wintry spells across Europe and beyond. High above, the stratosphere is also playing its part. The easterly phase of the quasi-biennial oscillation is weakening the polar vortex, that swirling crown of cold air over the poles. As the vortex falters, it allows Arctic air to spill southward, priming the atmosphere for dramatic cold outbreaks. This powerful La Niña QBO combination has a history of producing some of the UK's coldest Decembers, with 2010 standing out as a stark reminder. That year, the nation was gripped by relentless snow and record-breaking low temperatures, disrupting daily life and leaving a lasting mark on winter memories. But the story doesn't end there. Add in a warm phase of the Atlantic, which can enhance moisture and energy, and a recent solar maximum, which subtly influences atmospheric circulation, and the setup becomes even more potent. Each factor is stacking the odds in favor of a remarkable winter. All these powerful drivers are converging at once, creating a rare and volatile mix. Meteorologists are watching closely as the risk of a severe winter grows, with the potential for extreme weather events that could test infrastructure and resilience across the continent. Forecasters are on high alert. This rare alignment of atmospheric and oceanic forces is hard to ignore. Every new data point is scrutinized, every model run watched for signs of what's to come, as experts prepare for the possibility of a truly exceptional winter. Like puzzle pieces snapping into place, these signals are forming a clear picture. The stage is set for a major cold event, with all the elements in alignment for something extraordinary. Europe should brace for a winter to remember, one that could be talked about for years to come, as the continent faces the full force of this symphony of cold. To understand this cold forecast, we must look at La Niña's role. La Niña cools the central and eastern Pacific, shifting global weather patterns. For Europe, it means high pressure blocks over Greenland and Scandinavia, classic cold setups. These blocks force the jet stream south, opening the door for Arctic and Siberian air. Instead of mild, damp winters, we get sharp frosts and increased snow risk. Not all La Niñas are equal, but this year's weak event, combined with other signals, is textbook for cold. It doesn't guarantee a frigid winter, but it stacks the odds. The atmosphere is primed for cold outbreaks, making mild spells less likely. La Niña is the foundation of this December's chilling forecast. High above the North Pole, the polar vortex is under attack. Normally, a strong vortex keeps Arctic air locked up, leading to milder winters in Europe. This year, it's weakened. Waves from below are disrupting its spin, warming the stratosphere. These disruptions can unlock the Arctic's freezer, sending cold air south. Forecasts show multiple stratospheric warming events, potentially 3, hitting in rapid succession. The vortex could stretch or even split, a setup for prolonged cold in Europe and North America. A weakened vortex makes the jet stream wavier, encouraging blocking patterns. High pressure builds over Greenland, and cold air plunges south. This early season disruption is a strong signal. Winter's cold is coming fast. The stage is set for a dramatic start to December. A sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW, is unfolding, one of the most dramatic atmospheric events. Temperatures in the stratosphere can soar by 50°X in days, but the surface feels the opposite, deep cold. SSWs are reliable harbingers of major cold outbreaks, usually 10 to 14 days after the event. The 2018 Beast from the East was triggered by an SSW. What's unusual now is the timing. Multiple SSWs are forecast for late November and early December. This could keep the polar vortex weak all month, locking Europe into a cold regime. The physics are clear: stratospheric warming leads to high-pressure blocks and Arctic air surges. All eyes are on the stratosphere. This is the key to December's historic chill. To boost forecast confidence, we look to the past for analog years. Years with La Niña and an easterly QBO, like 2010 and 2000, brought record cold and snow to the UK. December 2010 was the coldest in a century, with weeks of disruption. The year 2000 had a similar setup to now. Wiak, La Niña. Easterly, QBO. Negative Indian Ocean Dipole. That December saw a snowy run-up to Christmas. Even recent UK floods echo past years that preceded cold spells, hinting at a volatile jet stream. No 2 years are identical, but strong patterns across analogs raise the odds of a repeat. History shows what's possible when these drivers align. The past is clear. This December could be severe. Long-range models are in rare agreement. December will be dominated by high-latitude blocking and a deep trough over Europe. Major models, GFS, ECMWF, Canadian, all show a strong Greenland block, cutting off mild Atlantic air. Arctic air is set to flood south, with widespread below-average temperatures. Daytime highs may stay below freezing, even in southern UK. Nights could plunge well below zero. With cold air in place, any moisture could bring snow to low levels. This isn't just a cold snap. It's a persistent regime that could last weeks. The models are translating stratospheric signals into a clear surface forecast. The message: prepare for a bitter, possibly snowy December. The evidence is overwhelming. December could be one for the record books. The rare alignment of La Niña, negative Indian Ocean Dipole, easterly QBO, and early SSW is a classic setup for severe cold. History warns us. Years like 2010 and 2000 brought widespread snow and dangerous cold. Now is the time to prepare. Check heating, insulate pipes, and plan for possible power outages. Expect travel disruptions, especially around the holidays. Governments, energy providers, and health services must brace for surging demand and increased risks. Protecting the vulnerable is crucial during such extreme weather. We'll keep tracking the polar vortex and updating the forecast. Stay warm, stay safe, and keep watching for updates as December approaches.